Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Kung saan man kayo ngayon sa iba't ibang dako ng mundo, purihin natin ang ating Panginoon na nagbigay sa atin ng isang espesyal na privilege upang patuloy nating alamin ang kanyang mga instruksyon at prescription para sa ating generation. Napag-aral natin sa previous na ating episode ay tungkol sa the lamp that we call peace. Yun ang pinaka-immediate na episode. Doon sa episode na yun, doon natin matunghayan bakit talagang sinabi ni John the Revelator, "When I saw the woman drunk in the blood of the saints and the blood of the martyrs, he wondered and admired after the beast." So it talks about the lamp, mga pangwakas. So bilang mga Kristiyano, mga followers of Jesus Christ, yung sinabi niya sa ating previous episode na, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." What is the way of Christ today? The way of Christ today is all the way of the closing. What is the truth of Christ today? The truth of the closing. What is the life of Christ? What is our life today? It's the truth of the closing. The way, the life of the closing generation. Kaya ang kailangan natin ngayon, mga kaibigan, ang God's closing prescription. Ang source lang talaga niyan, yung Bible. Na yun ang pinagbatayan ni Kristo na it is written. Dahil pangwakas na henerasyon, pangwakas na daan, pangwakas na katotohanan, pangwakas na buhay, apocalyptic life. Dahil sa ating closing apocalyptic generation, we are so blessed na si Kristo mismo ang nagbigay physically ng kanyang prescription na pangwakas sa pangwakas na henerasyon. As a matter of fact, sa isang sulat, sa isang komentary ng Biblia na mabasa natin sa page 954, volume 7 of the SDA Bible Commentary, sinabi, "The instruction to be communicated to John was so important that Christ came from heaven to give it to his servant, telling him to send it to the churches." It was an specific instruction that he specifically came to planet Earth to deliver physically the message. So ganun kahalaga ito, mga kaibigan at mga kapatid. Kaya may sinabi ang kanyang salita sa Salmo 119:105, "Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path." David who wrote this text. Kaya sinabi ni Isaiah sa Isaiah 8:20, "To the law and to the testimony." Ano yung batas? Ano yung testimony? The law is an instruction. "If they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them." So let us be clear on this line and these biblical principles. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, there is no light in them. So what is really the word of God for this time? Kasi pwede naman gamitin yung word of God na sinasabi sa napakalipas na, pero yung intensyon sa panahon ngayon, the word to make it relevant. So natin maintindihan, halimbawa, napag-aralan natin sa nakalipas na episode, sinabi niya sa Revelation 21:5, "And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new." So paano nagkaroon ng gera tungkol sa tekstong ito? Kasi si Kristo nagsabi na babaguhin niya ang lahat ng mga bagay. Kaya yung pagbabago na yan, ang kaaway naman ay ang tao. No? Ang tao na hindi napagkaluuban ng Panginoon, ang tao na hindi sang-ayon, ang tao na may sarili, makasarili o pangsariling galaw, movement, ay talagang gagawa din siya ng new humanity. So ang ating kaibigan na isang mahalagang kontribusyon sa mundo ay nagbigay sa 1996, April 7, sa Easter Message na napag-aralan natin sa napakalipas na episode, ay talagang napakaganda yung sinasabing new humanity. Sa new humanity na yan, dito nakaukit o dito rin tumatakbo ang movement ng pangwakas na henerasyon. Kaya nandito sa ating generasyon ang tinatawag na New Age movement. Isang filosofiya. Ano ba yung filosofiya? No, man's way of understanding life. Dito sa filosofiya ito, dito pinatakbo yung New Spirituality. Yung New Spirituality na napag-aralaman natin sa nung nakaraang episode ay the ecumenical world, religious pluralism, the New Age health, the New Humanity, the New Age business design, ay napag-aralan natin yan, kapatid. Kaya sa pangwakas na movement na yan, sa isang tao na nagsasalita, the New Humanity, ay napakalaking papel niya ang kanyang ginampanan. Kaya malaki din ang naisulat ng Biblia tungkol sa kanya. Kaya ang it is written, sapagkat 2,000 taon hinintay ito, kapatid, nang hindi siya pinayagan. Hindi pinayagan ang kapangyarihan ito. Pero in that appointed time na sinulat ng Biblia, ay nandoon. Sa isang panahon, umapak siya. Sa Time Magazine, tinawag siya the Pope in the Holy Land. Sa kasaysayan at takbo ng ating mundo, ay matagal talaga na hininanais na sila'y tatayo, titindig sa lupang banal. Pero it just happened right on time according to the Word of God. Kaya sa statement niya na nakatayo siya, I set foot in the land where God choose to pitch His tent. Kaya dito natin matutunghayan at dito natin ma-appreciate yung grasya ng Panginoon sa atin. Yung grasya ng kaalaman. That we will grow in grace, in the knowledge of Him. Kasi sa knowledge na yun, sinulat niya, ibinigay niya 2,000 years ago. 2,500 years ago. Sinabi talaga niya, that stand up. Stand in. Sa river na yan, stand up ang ginamit na praise, na words. Sa Mount of Olive, ang ginamit ay stand in. Tapos sa island, one is. 5 are fallen, one is. So napakahalaga na bakit kailangan natin talaga sa ating henerasyon. Kung ano man ang ating relihiyon at denominasyon. Kahit ano man ang antas. Kaya dito natin makikita yung words like stand in, river. Bakit yung river will stand by itself? Because the truth stands by itself. The Mount of Olive, the island of Patmos. Itong Christ's closing instructions. Truth stands by itself. Hindi na mahirap, kapatid, na hanapin mo pa kung saang source, saang quotations. Kadalasan sa ating mga previous generation, saan yung quotations na yan? Saan galing yun? Sinong nagsulat noon? Hindi na, kapatid. Ang mata na lang natin ang kailangan. Because our eyes will see the truth itself. So we are so blessed ang generations natin. Hindi na hirap. Hindi mo na kailangan saan ang source noon. Ilang bibliography ang kailangan mong basahin, kapatid. Saan natin hagilapin? Sinong mga scholars? Kapatid, sa ating generation, the word of Christ will stand by itself. Bakit? Kasi yan ang reality. Hindi mo na kailangan, kapatid, kasi mababasa mo. Halimbawa, bigyan ka ng example. Yung sinasabi sa Time Magazine ngayon. Hindi naman natin pwedeng ipagkailan na yan ang katotohanan. The New Roman Empire. Sipin mo. The New Time Magazine. Pagbasahin mo yan, dito mo maintindihan na yung akdang panahon na babalik ang kapangyarihan. Yung tinatawag na restored power. Dito. So pag nakita natin yan, kapatid, nakita natin yan na mga kaganapan, kasi sinabi ni Kristo ang verb na ginamit, you will see it. When one stands, everybody will see it. God is an omnipotent God. Omnipresent God. Omniscient God. Alam niya na kung ano ang maging reaction sa generations na makakita. O sa generation na sinabi niya blind and naked. Bakit, kapatid? Kasi after He described the prescription, binigay agad ng Panginoon ng instructions. Pag-aralan natin noong nakaraan, when you shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. The next verse says, let them which in Judea, be in Judea. flee into the mountains. Bakit may instruction ang Panginoon to go to the mountain? Bakit kailangan nating pumunta doon? But God knows. Alam niya. Hindi niyo ba naramdaman na halos lahat ngayon ng tao, the intellectuals of modern times, no, the millennials, ay mayroon silang interest papunta sa bundok. Kaya nga sa ating generation ngayon, maraming ginagawang institusyon sa bundok. Mga retreat centers, resorts, wellness centers, doon talaga itinatag sa bundok. Hindi niyo ba alam? Most of the expensive properties today are in the mountain. Pero napakaswerte ninyo kapatid. Yung isang relihiyon, isang iglesia, na mayroong isang tagasulat, na isang nagtestimonya siya sa kanyang sulat. Yung sinasabi na in 1902 sa sulat niya, ang pangalan niya si Ellen G. White. Nagsulat na siya na look for a place in a countryside and plant. Alam niyo mga kaibigan at mga kapatid, 1902 pa yan. Kung the past 50 years sinunod yan ng mga kapatirang ito, they will become the richest people on earth. Because 50 years ago, yung lupa na yan sa bundok ay mura lang kapatid. Very cheap ang kanyang price tag, 50 centavos per square. Minsan nga binibigay lang yan noon. But amazingly, today, skyrocketing prices of the lands na nasa bundok kapatid. So inunahan na pala ng Panginoon ang mga anak niya. Flee into the mountains. Maliban doon sa mga alam na natin na mga impluensya sa syudad. No? The evilness that creeps into the city. So dito natin maintindihan na alam ng Panginoon yung concern natin. Pag tayo in-instruction na punta sa lugar na yan, o an elevated bundok na yan, ang concern talaga natin, may kurinti ba doon? May pagkain ba doon? So yung luxurious living ng last generations, which is particularly in the city, ay gusto nating dalhin sa bundok. Gusto nating dalhin yung conveniente na yan. Pero God knows 2,000 years ago na yun ang concern mo. Kaya nga sinabi niya sa verse 17, Matthew 24:17, let him which is on the housetop not came down to take anything out of his house. What does it mean in our time? Literally and symbolically. Symbolically, my friend, because house, kung ano ang nasa ating tahanan sa loob nito. Bakit ayaw ng Panginoon, you take anything out of your house? Because most of our life, lahat ng ating mga pagsisikap, lahat ng ating mga concern, lahat ng anything that make us convenient, binili natin yan, nilagay natin sa loob ng ating tahanan. Because this is the place, the most important place in our human existence. The house. Sa loob ng bahay na nandoon lahat yung luxurious natin na gusto nating mapangawakan. Pero when you're on the housetop, viewing the movement of the story of redemption at its finally close, mangwakas na ito. Nandyan ka na sa movement na sumunod ka na sa instruction ng Panginoon. You have to get out. You have to go to a certain place. Flee. Ang gagawin mo kapatid, huwag mo nang hanapin yung conveniente. Do not take anything out. Just leave it. Because we are moving forward to meet Christ. Kasi may inihanda siya na mas higit pa sa mga bagay na ating pinanghawakan sa mundo ito. Do not take anything. So, minsan sa atin, hindi ako makapunta. Alam ng Panginoon yung dahilan bakit hindi tayo makasunod sa instruction niya. Remember, our life must abide in His Word, in His instructions. So, binigyan agad tayo ng advanced information ng Panginoon kung ano ang mga naging hadlang ng atang hindi natin pagsunod. Kaya ang kanyang instruction, do not take anything out of your house. Ganun lang kasimple yan, kapatid. Stands by itself the truth. Ilan sa atin ang hindi makarating na hindi sumusunod? Alam mo kung sinusunod lang talaga natin, we can be the richest people on earth. From 50 centavos, magkano lang 20,000 pesos. Puntahan mo lang yung kapitbahay nating lugar. Halimbawa, dito sa Manila, sa Tagaytay. 30 years ago, magkano ba ang lupa dyan? Sa Laurel na yan. Overlooking Taalay. Magkano lang? 50 centavos lang ang ano dyan? Ang per square meter. Pero ngayon, 25,000 per square meter. What a missed opportunities. Ang Panginoon hindi nabigyan ng instruction, na hindi makabubuti sa atin, especially sa movement ng proclamation. Especially na pinag-usapan natin yung resources daw natin. Hirap tayo makaproclaim kasi wala tayong pera, wala tayong resources. What makes us poor? Because we disobey. We do not follow Christ's instruction. Ang kasunod na verse niyan, kapatid, isa ba? Neither let him which is in the field, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. Sa mga sumusunod sa kanya, sa instruction niya, nasa field of preparation ka na. Huwag mo nang balikan para kukuha ka ng iyong damit. Return back to take your clothes. What does it mean, my friend? Ano bang representation? Bakit importante yung clothes? Sa atin, napakahalaga. Pinagsikapan natin yan eh. We burn candles with perspirations. We spend money to get the professions that we want. The crown, yung sinasabi natin, the world's crown, jewels of the world, yung ating edukasyon, yung profesyon na ating hawak. Minsan sabi natin, nandoon na nga, pero dapat ganito kasi doktor ako, engineer ako. Pero sinabi ng Panginoon, huwag mo nang dalhin yung damit mo. Do not take back the clothes, the professions. Di ba sa atin ngayon, ang professions, ang damit ay may simbolo ng professions. Halimbawa, pag engineer ka, pag doktor ka, anong uniform mo? Di ba? Pag lawyer ka, dapat ganito ang pananamit natin. These are the dynamics of a life. Pero God is simplifying to us. Do not take your clothes back. At dito ngayon ang pinakamaganda, kapatid. Verse 19. You open our Bible in verse 19. As you open it, you have to pray silently. Verse 19, it says, and woe unto them that are with child. Paano natin i-connect? Yung prescription niya, makita niyo, tapos isinunod niya yung instruction, tapos nagbigay pa siya ng mga detalye kung paano tayo susunod sa kanya na hindi tayo mahadlangan. At sinabi niya dito, and woe unto them. What does it mean, woe unto them? And this is the verse na binigyan niya, woe, kawawa kayo. Woe, it's a negative word. Woe unto them that are with child. That are with child. Bakit ba kung may anak ka? Bakit? Naging cursed na ba ang isang tao na may anak? Woe unto them that are with it. In connection to that instruction. Huwag tayong lalayo, kapatid, kasi may instruction. Pero siya, woe unto them that are with child. Bakit, kapatid? Gaano ba kahalaga ang instruction ng Panginoon? Na ang hindi sumusunod, binigyan niya ng woe. Woe unto them. Tapos nakakunik sa bata. That are with child. Remember, kapatid, this is a present participle. That are with child. 2,000 years ago, alam na ng Panginoon yung mga rason natin. Ang mga rason natin ay dahil sa ating mga anak, hindi tayo pwede makapunta sa instruction niya, makasunod. Hindi tayo pwede makapunta sa bundok. Hindi tayo pwede maka-country living kasi may mga anak pa tayong maliliit. Ginawa nating pahadlang, ginawa nating rason ang mga bata, kapatid. Alam niyo ba, ang bata ay blessing? Sinabi nga ng Panginoon, unless you will have the heart of a child. Yung bata, kapatid, nagsimbolo yan. Sa ministry ni Jesus, napakahalaga nga ng bata. Kasi ang bata nga, ang bata na yun, dahilan na nakakain sila. Bago pa nagkasala ang tao, sinabi na ng Panginoon, go to the world and multiply. Bakit marami nag-iisip na, bata ay maging ano? Kapatid, hindi yan ang ibig sabihin. Woe unto them that are with child. Kasi ginawa nilang rason na hindi sila makasunod. Tapos ang kagandahan pa nito, unto them that give. Hindi sinabi lang, unto them that sat in those days. That gives, siyang nagbibigay. Maraming mga tao na hindi makasunod kasi marami pa akong pinaaral, marami pa akong tinulungan. Christ is very concerned our personal relationship with Him, our personal obedience to Him. This is a statement of Christ that talks our relationship, personal relationship. Because salvation is a personal, it is not a corporate act. It is a personal act. Personal obedience to Him. So mga kaibigan, kahit anuman ang relasyon natin ngayon, anuman denominasyon natin ngayon, kapatid, let us simply understand the truth that is existing. Because Christ as an omniscient God has foreseen our concern and our reasoning. Alam na ng Panginoon yung rason sa mga hindi sumusunod. At ito pa ang verse 20. But pray. Ito na sa mga sumusunod. But pray that your flight be not in the winter. Take the word in verse 16, flee. Tapos dito, flight. Ito na, it is a presumption of a truth na ito ay sumusunod. Mayroon ang pagsunod eh. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter. What is winter? Ito bang instructions na ito, hindi pwede sa Pilipinas kasi walang winter time tayo. What does it mean by winter? Winter is a freezing time. Freezing time means you cannot do anything. All you have to do is stay where you are. Stay in your home. But pray that your flight be not in the winter. Bakit? Kasi alam ng Panginoon na marami ang susunod sa instruction niya sa panahon na freezing time na. What do you mean by freezing time? Sa ibang episode natin, i-discuss in details. Ano ang movement ng globalization that freezes the people of God in following His instructions? Neither on the Sabbath day. Ang galing, ang ganda nito. Neither on the Sabbath day. Alam mo kapatid, Friday is a preparation day. Sabbath is a day of the Lord. Ayaw ng Panginoon, kapatid. Ayaw ng Panginoon. Na nagsaka pa tayo susunod sa Kanya. Saka pa tayo susunod sa Kanya, kapatid. Kung nandyan na. Ano? Sabbath time na. Saka na lang ako susunod, saka lang ako pupunta. Kung ganito na ang mangyari, kapatid. That's man's late obedience. What a blessed generation. The millennials, the Z generations. You and me as part of it. For those who are the baby boomers that were born 1960s, 1940s, 1950s. So napakabait ng Panginoon na binigyan tayo 2,000 years ago ng instruction, tapos nagbigay pa siya ng ating mga possible reactions, kapatid. Napakabait ng Panginoon na talagang itinatag niya ang pangwakas. In-establish niya yan sa river, mount at island. So napakalala natin yung yung last episode, yung sinasabi doon, yung movement ng kings. Movement ng kings, kapatid yan. Identification of kings. Kaya dito natin makikita sa ating pag-aaral na every 2,000 years, meron talagang significant event. Noah, the first 2,000. The next 2,000 years, Christ was born, died, and resurrected. So God placed significant time component at saka yung significant movement of that appointed time. Kaya yung movement na yan, na it took 2,000 years, yung cultural hatred between the Romans and the Jews. Kaya sinabi talaga dyan, yung movement na yan, kapatid, yung movement of the closing time, na nakikita natin dito yung kagalit ng mundo sa mga tao na nag-proclaim ng coming of the Lord. So yung last page of the story of redemption, na God is specifically prescribing the literal fulfillment and the symbolic applications. Alam mo, Hindi na tayo dapat ay symbolical yan, ay literal yan. My beloved friends of all denominations, the words of Christ, His righteousness, His instructions will stand by itself, literally and symbolically. So sa last page ng kanyang story of redemption, binigay niya yung movement of world politics, the economics, the citizens. Dito natin maintindihan sa episode na ito, yung movement of world's churches. Nasimulan na natin nung last episode, bakit may ecumenical union of church and state. Bakit mayroong faith and spirituality. So yung movement of the church and prophecy, paano yung kanyang piniling iglesia ay madadala ito, kapatid? What is the movement of the church in prophecy? Kaya napag-alaman natin sa last episode na in the fullness of the transgression of this postmodern world, two global events have changed the landscape of the battlefield. Number one, the world wandered after him. Number two, yung inculturation. Alam niyo ba, kapatid, sa ibang episode natin, didiscuss natin yung inculturation. Gaano ba kahalaga yung inculturation? Ang meaning ng culture, kapatid, way of life. Yung meaning ng culture, way of life. Yung way of life, yun din ang determining point natin kung tayo ba'y makapunta sa langit o tayo ba doon sa kaaway. Kasi it determines our way of life, our character. So yung way of life na yan, ay dinefine niya ng science as culture. Yung culture, paano? Hindi ito instant, kapatid. Kaya yung culture na yan, mold lang ang culture na yan kung mayroong tinatawag na policy or philosophy. Ano yung teachings na yan? So, no ordinary achievement of the papacy, my friend. Isipin nyo, 2,000 years, the longest hatred in human history na nagkaroon ang mundo. Pero nagamot yan, kapatid. So, kasabay ng paggamot na ito, yung hatred na yan, at saka kasabay din ang sinabi ng Biblia, the transgressors shall come to the full. Sinabi rin ni Pablo, the falling away first. So, yung literal fulfillment na umapat siya sa Jerusalem, ano din ang symbolical fulfillment? Kapatid. Na siya ay tatayo sa lahat ng relihiyon. Kapatid, ang pagtayo niya ay pinadaan lang sa isang filosofiya or teachings. Isang teachings na napakahalaga naman pag titingnan natin. Halimbawa, sa generation natin, sa 2011, ginanap yung tinatawag na Joel Prayer, Week of Prayer for Christian Unity. Halos lahat ng relihiyon yan. Sipin mo, World Council of Churches promoting Christian unity. Lahat ng mga Protestant churches joining with the Pontifical Council of promoting Christian unity. So the Pontifical Councils of the Roman Catholic Church promoting Christian unity, kasabay din yan sa World Council of Churches promoting Christian unity. Tingnan mo lang, i-type mo lang sa Wikipedia ang mga movement na ito. Sa 2011, 2012, 2013, every year may week of prayer. Sa week of prayer, i-challenge ko kayo, kapatid, kung ano man ang ating antas ng ating paglago ng kaalaman sa mundo na ating kinabilangan. In the field of learning, in the field of higher education, how do we relate and engage the movement of our time? Isang sulat ng isang ang pangalan ay si Ellen G. White. Sa libro na sinulat niya sa 1888, sa page 25, paragraph 4, sinabi niya, when the idolatrous standards of the Romans should be set up in the holy ground. Pag set up, itayo talaga, kapatid. Saan daw? Holy ground. Which extended some furlongs outside the city walls. Then the followers of Christ were to find safety in flight. So take note, my beloved friends. Tignan mo lang yung statement. Followers of Christ were to find safety in flight. Our safety comes into in flight. Kaya makikita natin, ano ba yung movement talaga ng last generations? Na hindi tayo maiwan, kapatid. Kasi may movement when the warning sign should be seen. Napakalinaw, in-specify ng Panginoon yung warning sign. When you shall see the abominations. Those who would escape must make no delay. The signal for flight must be immediately obeyed. They must not hesitate a moment lest they be involved in general destruction. You remember the time in our history? In year 70 AD, bago nangyari yung destruction ng Jerusalem, kapatid, in the year 67 AD. Pinakita ng Panginoon. Kasi sinabi niya sa disciples na this temple, this Jerusalem will be destroyed. And there was a prophecy previous to it na yung year 70 years will be destroyed. Alam mo, kapatid, year 67, si General Celsius, talagang kasama ang mga sundalo ng Romans. Pumunta sila sa Jerusalem. Sa pagpunta nila doon, bago pa sila nakarating, nagbigay na ang Panginoon ng signs sa Jerusalem. Hating gabi, may mga makikita silang sundalo, Roman soldiers na makikita nila umaligid sa kanilang syudad. Sino yun? Mga angels yun, Divine showing. Nagpakita para ipaalam. Kasi may prophecy na. Now, when the Roman soldiers will encompass the city, when you shall see the abomination of desolation, flee. Kapatid, in spite of all miraculous showing of heaven to tell the Israelites that they have to get out from that city. Kapatid, alam mo, ang purpose lang talaga ni Celsius, kasama ng mga sundalo ng Romans, is simply to tell the Jewish people na ilagay nyo lang itong aming insignia sa inyong templo. They have no intention to destroy the temple, my beloved friends. Take note. They are not doing to destroy the temple. They are not coming into Jerusalem to destroy. They were there to promote friendship and fellowship, my friend. But the Jews misunderstood it. Simply because they don't want, according to them, we don't want to defile our temple by placing your insignia right there, the Roman insignia inside the temple. Alam mo, kapatid, nagkasagupaan talaga sila. At the point na mawala na matatalo na ang Israel. Kasi napaligiran na sila. That was year 67, during the time of General Celsius. Pero kapatid, the wonders, ay nga sinabi ng mga historian, one of the most, isa sa pinagtakahan na kaganapan. Bakit si Celsius ang Roman soldiers umatras? Na nasa bingit na sila ng kanilang kapanalunan at the very point that they will destroy Jerusalem. Bakit sila umatras? Kaya nagtanungan nga sila, according to Josephus, the Jewish historian, loved by the Romans. Na sinulat niya, General, why are we withdrawing? Sabi, bakit kayo umatras? Kaya yan ang sa history, kapatid, isa sa napakamanghang kaganapan sa gera. Umatras sila, kapatid, and that withdrawal misinterpreted by the Jewish. Kasi nanalo tayo, wala talagang makatalo sa atin. God gave them 3 years more. Sa lahat ng mga sumusunod sa prophecy, kapatid, na nagpapasa, they review what transpired. And after reviewing, some of them went out of the city. And they were saved. Because on the year 70, no less than the son of the emperor. Who was the son of the emperor that was sent to Jerusalem to finally offer the best that they can have, their mutual existence as the province of the Romans, Jerusalem and Judah? Oh, my beloved friends, it was Titus. It was Titus with the Romans, the year 70, with all those signs that God has been providing them. But those who are obedient to the words of Christ, they were able to make their exit. Nakalabas sila, kapatid. Umexit sila doon kasi yun ang nakasulat sa instruction ng Panginoon. They have to get out of the city. Same with our generations today. Great controversy when the idolatrous standards of the Romans should be set up on the holy ground. What are these idolatrous standards? It's not about idols. It's about the standards where the Romans are so very popular. They are the one that in placing the nations of the world, their teachings, their programs, their activities. These are the views of humanity, the standards of the Roman Catholic Church, because they are the promoters of life and the rights. Pag ito ang nakikita natin na ito na ngayon ang pumapasok, the warning signs should be seen. Those who would escape must make no delay. Yung lahat ng kanilang mga programa, kaakibat para sa kabutihan ng mundo ng sanlibutan. Spiritual man, political or economics. Punta natin sa spiritual, kapatid. Kaya si Elder Ted Wilson, nang na-elect siyang presidente ng Seventh-day Adventist Church, on his first message to the ASI Convention, sa mga mayayaman, mga businessmen of the Adventist Church, in August 6 of 2011, Elder Ted Wilson, as president of the Church of the General Conference, sa kanyang sinabi, quote and unquote, sinabi niya, guard against mystical belief and practices that are finding their way into the church. My beloved friends of the Adventist world, no less than the president. We all believe that when the president sat as the leader of the church, how God anointed him, inspired him to deliver the closing message. But he himself recognized that there are mystical beliefs and practices that are finding their way into the church through formats like spiritual formation and the emerging church. Spiritual formations, these are man-made formats to make people mature in their spiritual life. And there are a lot of these spiritual programs, spiritual formation programs that alter the words of God. Gamit pa rin sila ng mga salita ng Diyos, pero yung mga spiritual formation na ito, kapatid, mystical, mind manipulations, my friend. Mind manipulations. Trying to discredit or trying to tanggalan nila ng papel ang Holy Spirit. The basis of much of this is the emphasis of an experiential and emotional rather than strong foundation of the Word of God. Ang importante sa mga movement na ito, yung emotions, iiyak sila. Pag nag-pray sila, iiyak sila. Mind manipulation, transcendental meditations. Pag may activity sila, dito sila nakafocus sa bato na ito o sa tubig na ito, tapos iiyak sila, kapatid. Instead of the strong words of God's instruction. Pero tandaan nyo, kaibigan, Bible yan, spiritual activities yan. Kaya sinabi talaga ng presidente na si Elder Ted Wilson, stay away from mystical forms of prayer. Kasi halos lahat ng relihiyon, pati na ang mga politiko ngayon, lahat ng institutions, yung forms of prayer ang kanilang pinatupad. Yung dugtong-dugtong na panalangin na hindi na sinunod yung forms of prayer na itinuro ni Jesus. Kaya pag nag-prayer talaga tayo, i-close mo talaga sa pangalan ni Jesus na aming tagapagligtas. Sinugtong mo, din ikaw ang susunod. Pero ang format, please my friends, take note. Hindi na, truth will stand by itself. Puntahan nyo na lang. Puntahan mo ang archives. Pag ang mga presidente ng bansa, sa Pilipinas lang, pag nag-o-taking ang presidente, dugtong-dugtong na panalangin. Bawat isa, yun ang dugtong-dugtong. Alam mo kapatid, yung repetitive prayer using one word or a certain phrase or centering prayer that seems to have become popular but lead to the occult, since in many cases all thoughts are eliminated, thus allowing the evil one to invade rather than simple, humble prayer of sharing your concerns with your Lord. Grabe kapatid, manipulative. Kailangan ito lang ang sasabihin nga, ito lang ang susunod ha, ito lang ang susunod. It's a format that plays the role. Prayer, my friend, to our God is simply to express our longings to Him. Pero ang Christianity today, spiritual religiosity today, have been affected by this movement, my friend. Kaya, one program of the 3ABN, the Nightlight, si Dr. Derek Morris nga, who is now the president of the Hope sa broadcast, siya, nag-testimony siya during this presentation. He made a testimony confessing na he was a practicing emergence. Mga prayer format, kapatid. Mark Fenley, sa Nightlight na yan, they talk about emerging church. Kaya ang kanilang prescription nito, these are the shaking movement of our time. Gagawa daw sila ng DVD or presentations. So, paano ito tinitindig? At paano ito pumasok? Paano ito gumagalaw, kapatid? 2,500 years ago, on the River Olay. Kasi Kristo, sinabi talaga, spoken over Daniel the prophet. Paano siya papasok? Stand. Paano siya tatayo? Kaaway mo. Kaya maintindihan natin sa lesson ng Nehemiah, the book of Nehemiah. Ang simple lang ang ginawa ng kaaway. They come to you as a friend to influence so that the way of life will be altered. Culture nga ang pinag-usapan, inculturation. Please, let us study back what is culture and how minds are being. Paano yung kultura? Kaya nga itong last two visions of Daniel, ito rin ang last two messages of Christ for us, the last generations. Sa messages ni Kristo na ito, dito niya ipinahayag, ipinakita, last act. Dito niya itinuro sa atin. The last move, the last dance of His enemy. Kaya sinabi talaga ni Kristo sa ating previous episode, I will let you know. So narinig niya ang boses at sinabi, I will let you know. Ano ang ipaalam sa atin? Now, can you see what I know? You cannot. Makikita mo ba kung ano ang alam ko? Hindi, kapatid. So ano ang connection? Ano ang indikasyon? Ano ang implikasyon? Para maka-engage tayo sa mga tao sa mensahe. I will let you know. Ano yung no? Can you see what I know? You cannot. Sapagat ang itinuro ni Kristo dito, ang kanyang ibinigay na prescription, ay principles and philosophies. How can culture be realized? Kapatid, ang kultura ay maging kultura lang dahilan sa isang initiated concept. Konsepto ng mga prinsipyo at mga filosofiya. Kaya napakahalaga natin intindihin ito, kapatid. Kasi ito ang crucial na instruction ng Panginoon. Balikan natin ang verse ng Daniel 8:23. Dito sa Daniel 8:23, sinabi dito, kapatid, okay? And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of first countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. Sinabi ni Jesus, I will let you know. To know what? Napag-alaman natin na previous episode. Ipapatuloy natin ngayon. Kasi sa Daniel 8:24, and His power shall be mighty, but not by His own power. Ganda nino, gandang pagkakusa. And His power shall be mighty, but not by His own power. May power siya na mighty, but not by His own power. And He shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper, and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. And through His policy also He shall cause craft to prosper in His hand. And He shall magnify Himself in His heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without Him. Dito natin maintindihan, kapatid, ang kaibahan. Bakit ang pangwakas ng movement ng kaaway ay sinabi niya, He shall destroy wonderful. Sapagkat ang nakalipas na mga panahon, dinestroy niya terribly. Ang salitang destroy should be coupled with, dapat ang kapartner niya, brutally, terribly. Pero si Jesus, ang ending ng story of redemption niya, ang kaaway shall destroy God's people wonderfully. Kaya sinabi, I will let you know. So ang tanong natin, to know what? To know who? What about His power? So buksan natin ng Daniel 8:24. And His power shall be mighty, but not by His own. Bakit ano ibig sabihin? Mighty and but not by His own. Because power can be seen. Ang power kailangan may physical manifestation, kapatid. Pero makapangyarihan siya sapagkat and His power shall be mighty. Kaakibat ng power na kapatid, yung physical evidence niya, military power niya. Pero wala man siyang military power. But why? He can command the army. He can command humanity. Kasi ang tanong na sunod niya, what about His planned actions? He shall destroy. Wonderful. What shall be His mode or approach of destruction? So gamitin natin yung what kasi I will let you know. Kabait ng Panginoon, kapatid. So sa mga nag-aaral in the field of academic, kailangan mitikuloso tayo. Bakit? Ano yung language na ginamit niya? Yung verb, yung noun, yung object at ang subject. What shall be His mode or approach of destruction? Verse 25, and through His policy. So sa pamamagitan, paano siya makakreate ng culture? Through His policy. At ano ang sinasabi? By what means He will destroy? By peace shall destroy. Ang Darby 1888 Bible translation nagsasabi, and by prosperity shall destroy. So ang Daniel 8:25, and through His policy, He shall cause craft to prosper in His hand. And He shall magnify Himself in His heart, and by peace, prosperity shall destroy Him. And He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without Him. Napakabait ng Panginoon ang grasya sa atin para maisabuhay natin yung growing in grace. Para magamot ang isang sakit na sinasabi ni Kristo sa Revelation sa island na thou hast said to yourself that you are rich and in need of nothing. Dapat magamot ang klaseng kondisyon na sinasabi natin sa ating mga sarili, thou art rich and in need of nothing. Because today, we will be learning the beauty of His revelation. Pag-aralan natin ang original Hebrew nito, kapatid. And through His policy. Ang ginamit sa King James policy. Pero ang original Hebrew word nito, kapatid, Hebrew, from the original, sikel. Ang meaning ng sikel sa Hebrew, kapatid, ang first description, definition, intelligence. So sabi na, and by His intelligence, and through His intelligence, and through His success, and through His discretion, and through His knowledge, and through His prudence, and through His sense or common sense, and through His understanding, and through His wisdom, and through His what? Napaka-positive nito, kapatid. And through sa pamamagitan nito, kapatid. And through His policy, He shall cause crop. So, babasahin na natin sa Wikipedia kung ano ang ibig sabihin ng policy. Ang policy sa Wikipedia is defined as typically described as a principle or rule to guide decisions and achieve rational outcomes. It's a rule, it's a principle. Sa mga desisyon para makamit at abutin ang makatarungang kaganapan. Rational outcome. Makatarungang kaganapan. Ang Webster Dictionary nag-define dito, kapatid. Sinasabi, a definite course or method of actions selected from among alternatives. So, may mga alternatives. Tapos selected. And in light of given conditions to guide and determine present and future. and in light of given conditions. So, pag titingnan mo, ay, reasonable, noble talaga siya. Sabi pa dito, ang policy, a high-level overall plan embracing the general goals, especially of a governmental body. Puntahan natin sa ating mga kamay, sa ating mga laptop, ang definition ng policy. Policy sa Microsoft Encarta is defined as a course of action. Grabe, may kilos. So, movement talaga siya ng programa o program of actions adopted by persons, group, or government, or the set of principles on which they are based. Literally, it is set of principles. Prudence, especially in the pursuit of actions. So, ang sinabi ng Biblia, Daniel 8:25, King James Version, through His policy. Sa pamamagitan ng kanyang policy. Ano yung policy? Set of principles. Mga kapatid, napakalinaw sa Biblia nito. Set of principles. Puntahan daw natin ng isang libro na isinulat sa 1888. Ang pamagat ng libro na yan, Great Controversy. On page 444, paragraph 2. Ganda kapatid. Sinabi dito, are we not living a life over again? She was referring to an existing power. Because I would like to tell you, this was the time that the power of the little horn is now going on, my friend. The recovery of this power. Are we not living a life over again? And what do we see just ahead? So the writer was telling us, what do we see just ahead? And this was 1888. He was stealing the generation. And what do we see just ahead? Another general council. A world's convention. Evangelical alliance. This is a punctuation apostrophe. And universal creed is another punctuation mark. Especially when this shall be gained. Pag mangyari ito, then in the effort to secure. So this purpose is to secure complete uniformity. So there can be, complete uniformity without this universal creed, without this evangelical alliance, without this world's convention. There must first be a movement. It will only a step to resort to force. May apat lang na prescription ang libro na ito. General Council, World's Convention, Evangelical Alliance, and Universal Creed. Titingnan at busisihin daw natin itong sinasabing Universal Creed. Kasi pangmundo, buong mundong creed. Ano ba yung creed? Ang creed, kapatid, ay dinefine siya. Statement of belief. A formal summary of the principles of the Christian faith. The third definition, set of principles. Any set of beliefs or principles. So mga kaibigan at mga kapatid, dito natin makikita at matutunghayan sa dalawa nating mata. At maintindihan kung paano ang isang kultura na ipinasok ng kaaway na maging way of life natin. Sinabi kanina, and His power shall be mighty. What a wonderful philosophy, wonderful policy. Kasi ito ay set of principles. Creed. At sa Biblia, sinabi dito, Daniel 8:25, and through His policy. What does policy mean? Set of principles. Sa Spirit of Prophecy, is a great controversy, page 444, 1888 edition. Creed means set of principles. This set of principles, my friend, na sinasabi as the final fulfillment of the closing scenes of earth history. Kailan nangyari?